We'd love to chat more and wait to get into the real show, but we had some breaking news out of Greenbrier this morning. As of 15 minutes ago, give or take, Mary Kay Cabot and the rest of the reporters down in the Greenbrier have tweeted that D'Onta Foreman, the running back the Browns signed this offseason, has been immobilized and taken off the field on a board after injuring something during the kickoff drill. There have been since videos that have been tweeted out of Foreman being carted off. His leg, it appears from these videos, completely stabilized. We have no more extent on the injury, how it happened, whether it's a knee, an ankle, a shin. We have no idea. All we know is D'Onta Foreman, the running back the Browns signed this offseason to hopefully fill some of the workload that Nick Chubb was leaving behind. If he's not healthy, is now being carted off the field. And Tyvis, Jason, you know, there's always going to be injuries during training camp. You hope they're not severe. This one appears to be of the severe nature, but if it is something that is going to keep Foreman out for a extended period of time into the regular season, Tyvis, how much of a loss is that, considering we just don't know if Nick Chubb will be ready week 1 or not?
I mean, I think it's a big loss because of the role that you thought he was going to play. You know, we don't have to rush Nick Chubb back because we got a guy who's been an NFL starter, who's had a workload, who's been very productive in this league. He was with Deuce Staley when he was with the Panthers,
Correct.
I think, and he was having a really good season under him. So, you know, to me, you know, where the Browns go from here is obviously they got to look at the free agent market because they got to have somebody to fill that role, you know, that short yardage, goal line situation, and another guy that can take some carries off, just somebody that's not rushing Nick Chubb to come back, you know. And I don't know what that looks like right now. I haven't looked at the running back free agent market in a while, but I think it's a loss for sure. I think that the Browns can bounce back from this depending on the fact how they want to construct their offense. We know that they want to become more of a pass-happy team. So from that standpoint, you still got Jerome Ford that catches well, Nyheim Hines that catches well out of the backfield. So I think you'll be fine.
Still have Pierre Strong, too.
Yeah, you still got Pierre Strong. So you still got guys. But when it comes to that bully, that tough grit, got to get that 1 yard guy. Without Nick Chubb, you kind of don't have that guy right now.
So that makes me have to ask Jason. Last year,
I knew you.
Kareem Hunt, you called him a tricycle. Does this open the door to bring back Kareem Hunt to Cleveland?
I mean, what are we down to now? Unicycle? Is Dalvin Cook signed?
Dalvin Cook is still on the market, to my knowledge, right? Earl, Dalvin Cook is one of those names you just named. Dalvin Cook still
Dalvin Cook is one of those names.
Yeah, so Dalvin Cook's out there. Matt Breida, another name out there.
Breida the Cheetah.
At least he played with Tyvis. Kareem Hunt's not the only name available.
I would be surprised if it was Kareem.
I'd
be really surprised. But I think you got to call Dalvin Cook right now, right? I mean, that's the first name that I just was trying to do a quick glance to see if he was still out there. But I mean, it's devastating for D'Onta Foreman. Zach Jackson tweeted that he went right to the ambulance, and the ambulance went right off the field. So
you want some names? Damian Harris, Matt Breida, Kareem Hunt, Latavius Murray, Jerick McKinnon, hey, Jet, Marlon Mack, Josh Keeley, Deion Jackson.
It's not a great crop of running backs.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's August.
There's a reason they're unsigned
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
But, to your point, it seems like he got immediately taken to the hospital. When that happens, it's usually an injury of the utmost severity, and all of us here at UCS hoping for a speedy recovery for D'Onta. They brought him here with the thought that if Nick Chubb's out, we have a guy that can fill in as an RB1 for not the whole season, but for some length of time, and we feel pretty good about him, especially, as Tyvis mentioned, with his ties to Deuce Staley, understanding the offense. And if he's not, and Nick Chubb isn't ready, you're looking at a running back stable that's currently constructed of Jerome Ford, Nyheim Hines, and Pierre Strong.
I mean, like I say, if the offense is changing, I know Kevin is still calling the plays, but we also know that Ken Dorsey is putting a heavy spin of emphasis of his offense, which is we think it's probably going to be more of a spread. If you don't know what the spread is, that's like four outside receivers. Yeah, three receivers, one tight end, one running back in the backfield, kind of in the shotgun a lot. If he's going with that, like I said, Jerome Ford made some plays last year. Some of his best plays came out of that spread. Pierre Strong, all these guys seem like they can adjust well to that. But only time you'll be missed is, like I said, them short yardage, goal line situations, the Kareem Hunt special. But I'm with Jason. I don't think Kareem's coming back because If he does, I got a bet with Jay Crawford, and I said that I don't think he's getting signed again. I forget what we bet on it, but yeah, I don't want to lose that bet either.
How quickly are they making that phone call, Jason? Not necessarily to Hunt, but to any free agent running back.
Oh, they're looking
is
at
this
the
an
list.
immediate call right now?
Yeah, I'm sure they're looking at the list this afternoon. They should be. We should get more. I mean, I don't know how much more information, but practice should be about over. They pushed everything up, I'm guessing, for bad weather.
9:30 was the start of practice.
Yeah, they're going a lot earlier today than what they were anticipating. There's no place to go. If it rains, you're kind of stuck there. So there's no real indoor facility, obviously. So you got to kind of play with the weather. So I would think that they will be talking, although Kevin talked pre-practice, so he won't talk post.
I think he's doing both, I saw today.
Is he?
I think he's doing both.
Okay, well, that would help if he does both.
So it was only like a 5-minute real quick update, who's in, who's out of practice presser for Kevin today.
Okay. He's not going to have any information, obviously. We're going to have to wait on this. But I would imagine as soon as they get off the practice field, they're going to start looking at the names and calling agents and seeing who's out there.
Yeah,
obviously, this looks significant.
You got a game next week, camp still this week. Even for practice reasons, you still got to have.
Bodies.
You just got to have it right now. So yeah, somebody should be signed. We're probably in the next 48 to 72 hours.
Earl, what say you about the D'Onta Foreman injury?
A couple things on that. What's the chances that actually Joshua Kelly, gets some extended opportunities? I know he's a guy that's been around during training camp for seems like several years now. But as I'm looking at, running backs, I think we can't rule out the fact that Andrew Berry can still trade a late-round draft pick this year or next year for a running back. This might be a long shot, but a guy who used to be here signed a 1-year contract with Jacksonville this offseason, D'Ernest Johnson. I don't think that will cost you a lot, but, just another name to throw out there that if we ever get to that point, somebody that's familiar with the city and with the team.
What does Jacksonville's running back depth chart look like real quick? And Ty, while he's looking up that, Josh Kelly? I mean, he's been in the system.
You mean John Kelly?
John Kelly, excuse me.
Josh Kelly is the running back from the Chargers.
John Kelly, who's been in the system, played at Tennessee, been in the system, been on the practice squad.
Yeah, John Kelly would be a guy that, they trust. He would come in, they know what they're going to get out of him. He's not going to be like an every down back. And it's not like the person that they're going to go get is going to be the starter. Like that's not what they're looking for right now. They still believe that Nick Chubb will be back earlier than later in this season. They just need somebody to, get them there, get them to Nick Chubb being back right now. So the guys that they will go get, to me, would be like a John Kelly, a guy that's been in the program. You know what you're going to get. He's been around this team. He can go in there and get you some of the running back yards that you may need, take some hits off of Jerome Ford or Pierre Strong or Nyheim Hines. And that's a guy that is kind of physical. I don't think he's that big in size, but he still does play a physical style of game. So those would be the guys that they would look to.
Earl mentioned D'Ernest Johnson is third on the Jaguars running back depth chart behind Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, who was their third-round pick last year. I'm not sure how open they are to trading a third-string running back at this point, but certainly not completely out of the question.
See, my thing with D'Ernest was, when he was here, D'Ernest was really good. He's a really good running back, but the problem is that's all he was. He
didn't play
special teams was not his thing. And if you're going to trade a pick for a guy that's just a running back, well, what happens when Nick Chubb does come back? What happens if Jerome Ford is that guy? Now you're looking at a guy that's going to be a third-string guy that's going to be inactive again because he doesn't provide you any special teams depth. So that's been D'Ernest's problem, is that he hasn't been effective on special teams. If he was on special teams, he'd probably still be here.
Pierre Strong, great special teamser.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines, great returner.
Great returner. So those guys bring that element to the game that a guy like D'Ernest may not. Jason, last thought on
Well, just real
Foreman?
quick, Zach just tweeted that there's a helicopter now coming to take D'Onta Foreman. So this is going from concerning to very concerning. Ambulance carrying D'Onta Foreman pulled away from the practice field but is still in the parking lot. A helicopter is landing now to take Foreman to the hospital. And I don't think they're out in the middle of nowhere, but there are still hospitals that are relatively close by. But that's obviously, if he's going by helicopter, that's very concerning.
And Mary Kay tweeted that all the Browns players formed a prayer circle as he was placed on the ambulance from the stretcher. So seriously, and a very serious situation happening at the Greenbrier right now as the Browns try and wrap up practice. Who had a statement?
Brown's statement on the injury. Zach Jackson just tweeted this. During practice today, Browns running back D'Onta Foreman sustained a direct blow to the head that resulted in neck pain. Browns athletic training staff deployed their standard emergency action procedures to immobilize Foreman. He was taken to an ambulance and is being transported via helicopter to a medical center in Roanoke, Virginia, to undergo further medical evaluation. Foreman had movement in all his extremities. Updates will be provided as more information is
So
received.
not a leg injury.
No, not a leg
head injury.
Head injury. Movement obviously is great in
Yeah.
all extremities. They're very close to the Virginia border there, where the facility is. But going by helicopter to, I know nothing about. I don't know if this is a special
Roanoke
medical
has
center.
a good hospital. That's right outside where Virginia Tech is. It's a pretty good
Yeah.
hospital. Yeah.
So there you go.
All right, Earl, you want to do a read and we'll get into the other topics we had planned for today?